You have landed on another episode of Dunwoody Dialogues. This show is produced by Discover Dunwoody. I am Mark Galvin, your host, and we are so thrilled to have you back for another episode here on Dunwoody Dialogues. We speak to people all over Dunwoody. We talk to VIPs, we talk to government officials, and if this is the first visit that you are making to our channel, well, please go check out our past interviews. We have had some terrific guests. Our guest today, or our singular guest today, is from the film and entertainment industry. I want all of you to meet Shelby Grady. Shelby, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so glad to have you here in front of the camera. We have been trying to get this little recording together for a while.
Yeah.
We were, well, first of all, you were busy.
Yes.
And then I lost my voice. Don't entirely have my voice back yet.
You're doing
We're
great.
pressing on.
Yes. Onward.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Shelby. She is the producer and owner of Lil Cowboy, not Little, Lil Cowboy Films. They are a production studio that produces micro marketing movies and macro motion pictures. And they make the kind that people like. We are so happy you're here because of all the things that are going on in the state of Georgia in film and entertainment. To know that, number one, I'm going to say you're from Dunwoody. Can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, rock on. So you grew up in the area.
I did.
In fact, I think you're related to one of our past mayors.
Yes, actually, the very first mayor, Ken Wright, is my uncle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that connection. But you grew up here. You went to Ole Miss.
I did.
4 years there. You got a degree in theater.
I was actually only there for 3 years because I graduated early.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, but
Oh
I got my
gosh.
degree in theater and a minor in film.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me you were smart when we were talking before.
Well, I was
That's
also in the
unbelievable.
honors college.
Look at you. That is so cool.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So you go to Ole Miss, you get your degree, and then you went to NYC. Is that
Yes,
right?
I moved to New York.
Why New York?
So my degree and my focus was in acting, and at the time that was my sole focus. It had always been a dream of mine to live in New York, but obviously there were so many opportunities there as an actor. So I did, films and TV appearances and commercials while I was there before I headed back to Atlanta.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. So you come back to Atlanta, and you got married in Atlanta?
Yeah. Well, no, we got married in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so there's this guy that she's married to.
Yes.
His name is Gavin Fields.
Correct.
And he is the writer, director, founder, and husband.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Of
Most
Lil
importantly.
Cowboy. Yeah, that's very important. So did you two get married then start Lil Cowboy?
We did.
Okay,
yes.
great. Mm-hmm. And give me an idea of his role. What does he do in the company?
So writer director is exactly what it sounds like.
Okay.
He and I conceptualize marketing stuff together. If it's a feature length project, he's writing the script for it. And
Great.
then he directs all of our projects regardless of the size.
We've already talked about a lot of things, and I may have teased a little bit more than I should have, but I'd love for you to ask my favorite question. What do you do, and why do you do it?
So Lil Cowboy is making smaller commercial size projects. That's more of our day in, day out.
Okay.
So we are doing anything from fundraising videos, brand spots, doc style interviews to sort of let customers know or potential, collaborators know what a company is doing.
Oh, good.
But we're also making feature films, which is the macro side of the macro motion pictures.
Good.
And right now we're working on our second feature film.
Wow. So let's talk about the micro piece.
Sure.
So if I, like here in Discover Dunwoody, we want to do a piece featuring Dunwoody and we want to show people how great it is, you could do that type of work with us.
Yes. And we're concept to delivery. So we will start with you, at whatever phase you are. If you know what kind of video you need, we can come in and start conceptualizing that with you.
Okay, good.
Or if you just know that you need to be getting into the video space because everyone else is and you're not really sure what you want to be doing, then we can come in and kind of help distill down what would be the best piece of video to put out.
Oh, so I think that's brilliant because oftentimes it's hard to figure out what
It's
I need
very
to say,
hard.
right?
Indeed.
So you will help a client along. They know they need a video. They may even have a a spot coming up at a major conference
Mm-hmm.
and they need a video at the conference, you'll help them put that together.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
if there's a script necessary, we'll help conceptualize and then write the script. If there's not, if it's more doc style, we can help, figure out who you should be interviewing, who might be the best face for the video or faces,
Okay.
what B-roll is going to look like. We really get in, we get to know our partners really, really well, and then we, take it from there in terms of the video piece of it.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
So this is interesting. If you want a video,
Yeah.
a commercial, right?
Absolutely.
Sounds commercial-like.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It can look like a feature-length film because you know how to do feature-length films.
Yeah, that's really our approach, is that we are filmmakers. We're approaching everything from a filmmaking background and perspective. There's a lot of noise in the video space right now. People are just inundated with content all
That's
the
very
time.
true, yeah.
And our goal is to make pieces of material that someone actually wants to watch, that they're going to sit down and spend 30 seconds or 3 minutes watching and engaging with.
So that's why one of your taglines is you make content the kind people like.
Correct, yes.
I think it's great.
Thanks.
Why the name Lil Cowboy?
So we're a 2-person team. We're small, hence
Okay.
the Lil.
Yeah.
And we really wanted a name that encapsulated our spirit of wanting to venture out on our own. We are very
Okay.
intentionally keeping it small. We, really know what we're trying to do, and we are taking that mission and venturing forth into the frontier and carving our own path.
You sound like a pioneer,
That's exactly
right?
Yeah.
I think that's great. So, in the kind of work that you're in, let's be honest, people don't do what you're doing unless they have a dream,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is the dream? What do you and Gavin, you sit at night and you think, oh, it'll be great when.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
The ultimate goal for us is to be making as many films as we possibly can.
Feature-length films.
Feature length, ideally, yeah.
Okay,
Right
good.
now, there's some shorts mixed in there too. But
Sure.
I think for us as artists, if I may use that term, I think really the end goal is to just be producing features as often as we can.
Do you and Gavin sit around and talk about ideas all the time?
All
Like,
the time.
Oh, we should do
Oh,
here's a story or something.
Absolutely. I mean, this is our second feature, but Gavin has 6 other features just sitting in the bank, and he's
Oh,
always
wow.
working on more. And so we're sort of talking about those other concepts all the time because we never know which one might be the next one.
How do you decide that?
Right now, it has a lot to do with financing and what is going to be the most plausible in terms of funding.
All right.
But hopefully one day it'll be really just what we're feeling most drawn to as our next piece.
That's interesting. I love that. Funding, that's got to be a challenge.
It is.
Okay, or it's either not a challenge or it is.
No,
right?
it is.
So how do you, you got a concept. Let's say it's number 5.
Sure.
I just named it number 5.
Okay.
So the 5th script that Gavin's written, you think is the one.
Yeah.
How do you go about get funding for that?
That is such a nuanced question. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat in this, space. And it just really depends. Right now, we're sort of tackling it from as many angles as possible. For our first film, that was a much smaller lift. So we were primarily looking at crowdfunding. We actually got a lot of private investors from the Dunwoody and Georgia area, which
Oh,
was
good.
amazing.
That's cool.
But for this film, because it's larger in scale, we're looking more to partner with a larger studio or to have larger private investors who are really investing in
Okay.
films on a more regular basis.
When you start talking to a private investor, what type of return do they expect? Do they even give you that, or do you is that part of the pitch? I don't know.
It's
Just
very
curious.
tricky because it's really hard to gauge what an ROI for a film is going to be.
Right.
Because that landscape is constantly changing, and there are so many factors that go into whether a film is a success or not. I mean, how many films have you seen that were flops at the box office or, ahead of their time maybe and weren't appreciated, and you've seen it and gone, this film resonates so much with me right now. I love this movie.
Right.
So it's really hard to say. It really depends on the project and sort of the legs and then also the minds behind it.
So interesting. Did you know that when the movie It's a Wonderful Life came out, it was a flop?
I did know that, actually.
That is so amazing.
I know, it's
because it's
crazy.
one of the most popular, if not
beloved.
the most popular, beloved. That's a great word for
Yeah.
it. Christmas movie there is,
Yeah.
and it flopped.
Yep.
And that could have been due to distribution and
Sure.
some other business things where it just didn't get in on enough screens. Back then, you couldn't see it unless it was on a screen.
Right, exactly.
So just really interesting. Okay. So let's go back to marketing
Okay.
and the work you're doing there. I think this is interesting, especially because of the space we're in, and we're always trying to find content. If you look at our social media,
Oh, yeah.
we're trying to create brand new content because it's new content's king, right?
It is.
How do you identify the best fit for you? Is there a style of organization that you prefer to work with? And then how do you put together the final product? And you've talked a little bit about it. You guys will figure out the pathway, but let's go a little more granular.
Sure.
Who's the best audience and how do you put together the best product?
Well, on a really high level, we love to work with people who are really passionate about what they're doing.
Okay.
That's sort of an overarching theme in our partners in our work.
Okay.
But more specifically, we've been partnering a lot with schools, people who are doing fundraising, so nonprofits. We've done a lot with trade
There's
associations.
the passion, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
exactly. And then we've done some with small businesses who are, people who are trying to get a new product or concept onto the market.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. You've said before your goal is feature length.
Correct.
So you're paying the bills with the marketing side right now.
Yes.
So- and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's great.
Thanks.
Plus, people can tap into that. There's always great resources. And one of the things I would encourage you to look at is connect with some of the folks in the tourist industry.
Absolutely.
Right? Like the GACVB, the Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Yeah.
They could be a good conduit for
Tourism is always something we've been really interested in, and we'd
Yeah.
love to tap into that market.
you. Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about feature-length films, and I know you want to make more feature-length films. What do you think is the trick to breaking into that market?
I think for us, our strategy has been we made our first feature for $130,000. In terms of making a film, that's basically nothing.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
we went into it with the approach that we want our budget restraints to be a creative challenge to ourselves. How can we take those restraints and make them into choices that don't distract the future audience?
Good.
And we did, I think, do that fairly successfully. And so we've
What's the
wanted
name of the movie?
Brutal Season.
Brutal Season. Where can
Yes.
people find it?
You can find it on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, pretty much anywhere you can rent or purchase films.
Yes. And so we're going to put in our show notes so you can go and click on it and get to it.
Please do.
Yeah.
That would be great.
But keep going.
So our strategy was to use this first film really as a calling card to say, look at what we can do with 130 grand. Imagine what we can do with $1 million or $3 million or $10 million. And just really showcase our craft and the people that we like to partner with.
So I am a pedestrian when it comes to this kind of work. What's the difference between 130 and $1 million, right? Or 5 million or 10 million? What is the difference of the look and the quality of the product? How does that manifest itself in a final product?
Well, you just have more options with a larger budget. For example, one of the things we did to help keep costs lower with Brutal Season was we set it all in one room. The entire film takes place in one room.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think you have to be really creative with a lower budget in terms of making sure that it looks and sounds good and feels like a real movie. We had so many family and friends, once they finally saw our film, be like, that felt like a real movie. And we kept saying, yeah, that was the goal. But, I think so much of that comes down to budget and what you're able to do and the kind of equipment you're able to get or the kind of actors you're able to get. And also just the talented people behind the scenes, the quality of those people. That being said, there's tons of incredible actors and, all sorts of crew members who are insanely talented, who are just getting their start. And we drew a lot on that. We actually used 6 students on this film because we needed extra hands, and we shot on a college campus, and that was sort of their one caveat was
That's really cool.
You can shoot here, but you have to use our students, and they were fantastic. So
That is great.
really getting creative with how to make your budget stretch as much as possible.
So I kind of see one of the differences is Mission Impossible is a great series.
Yeah.
Right. They are all over the world.
Yes.
Every time that camera, I know it's not singular, but when that camera goes from New York City to Singapore, that is a serious amount of money.
Correct.
There's $130,000 right there just moving
If
your
not
money.
more.
Yeah, just that movement, but it does create texture.
Correct.
Right? Then they end up in Paris and they're flying down a road and they got roads blocked. They're probably paying local municipalities something
100%.
to close those roads. So
Absolutely.
all of that adds up into something that creates, there's a big difference from one room to that. I think what's really interesting is, number one, you and I talked about this. The movie is, what's the name again?
Brutal Season.
Brutal Season is on, we're going to have it in the show notes. And it's got an 8 on IMDb. Why is that important to me? Because I don't watch anything unless it's a 7 or higher.
Yeah.
And so that does show that you guys have created a really quality product.
Thank you.
And it's astounding in one room.
Yes.
I am really blown away by that.
Thank you so much. It's also a period piece. It's set in the 1940s. So it's really sort of this marriage of theater and film. There's only 5 main cast members. I am one of them. But, that was another way to keep costs low as well, was just having a smaller cast.
I think that's awesome. I love that. Well, I'm definitely going to go check that out.
Thank
I think
you.
that's really cool.
Thanks so much.
Okay, let's talk about Georgia,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
I don't.
Georgia's blowing up a bit. There's some things happening here in the film and entertainment. You and Gavin could have gone anywhere. Why did you guys come to Georgia? Your heritage in the city notwithstanding, why did you come here?
Well, when I was in New York, I loved it there, but I was always sort of keeping an eye on Georgia and what was going on. Obviously, before I moved, the tax incentive had been introduced, but I had seen this happen with other states and cities like Louisiana. There was so much filming going on in New Orleans, and when their tax incentive changed, filming moved elsewhere.
Wait. I don't know. I don't think I knew this. So New Orleans / Louisiana, when you were in New York, there was lots of productions on there going on there. Their taxes that have changed.
It did.
And it disappeared.
I'm not sure if it disappeared entirely because things do still shoot,
Sure.
especially in New Orleans. So I'm not as up on, what their incentives were
But you
versus
noticed
are. But
something.
Yes, I saw
Okay.
that happen, and it happened, I believe, also with North Carolina. And so I, was sort of holding Georgia at an arm's length, just being like, I don't know if this is going to be a viable option for me
Sure.
in terms of having longevity in my career.
Right.
Once infrastructure started going up, once studios were really being built and multiple, you were getting the Assembly Atlantas. Oh, obviously that's new, but,
Sure. Well, that's a multi-million-dollar project.
huge project.
Sure.
Once the infrastructure was there, I felt so much more comfortable saying, okay, a lot of people have invested a lot of money and time and resources into this incentive and keeping film in Georgia. I feel a lot more comfortable knowing that, I'm not going to move back and 6 months later, everyone's going to be gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I think that's really interesting as a native Atlantan, seeing we did see some studios that popped up. We saw some places being converted.
Yeah.
That were already here. But to see Trilith
Yes.
and then Assembly Atlanta and even Eagle Rock, which
Oh my
was
gosh.
a conversion, but it's now become its own thing.
Amazing. And Electric
there's
Owl.
Electric Owl are they even open yet?
I think they
It's
just opened.
Like 5 minutes ago
Yeah.
type thing. So all that infrastructure, I think, is a great point.
It is.
Of the type of focus that people are willing to make
Yeah.
in the state of Georgia does create a sense of comfort,
100%.
right? That you're in the right spot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, we need to talk to Assembly Atlanta and try and, get you a studio there for your next
Yeah, absolutely.
feature-length film, right?
Call me Assembly Atlanta.
Hope you get some funding.
Yeah.
We would love that.
That'd be awesome.
Well, that is really cool.
Thank you.
Now, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this before.
Okay.
Where can people find out more about Lil Cowboy?
You can go to www.lilcowboy.co. That's our website. You can find us on Instagram at Lil Cowboy Films. You can find us on Facebook, Lil Cowboy Films. We're sort of all over the place.
This is fantastic. So for all of you watching, remember this face because they're going to be big. And when they are, we're going to say, we knew them when. Go back and see.
Oh,
We're gonna
gosh,
do
I
this.
hope so.
Oh, we're totally going to do this. Well, Shelby doesn't talk to us anymore, but
I would never. I'm not that kind of
I
person.
would love that. So when you are, the biggest name in all of film, you'll still come back and talk to us?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll give
all
you
right.
the exclusive.
We just,
You have it on camera.
we
Now I
totally-
have to do it.
we are going to do it. And I promise by then I'll have my voice back.
Amazing. It's a trade.
Well, I do so appreciate you coming in. And tell Gavin hello.
I will.
We are sorry we missed you, Gavin, but we want you to come back with Shelby in the future.
Next time.
Right?
Yeah.
This would be awesome. And we do so hope to see you succeed.
Thank you.
You know, you were so kind. You came in here. We love that you went to Ole Miss. For all the rest of you, that's the University of Mississippi, not Mississippi State.
No.
They're two totally different schools.
Don't get it
right?
twisted.
That's right. Not the same. But we love you're from here.
Yeah.
You went to an SEC school, and you're building your company, which will be big here in our city. So we so appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was
Absolutely.
so much fun.
Folks, we are so happy you're watching, as we do on all of our shows. I want you to know this. This show is produced by Discover Dunwoody. Our producer is Madison Holtz. Our sound technician is Emily Inser Gibson, soon to be Gibson Allen. Did you hate that I say that? She's our sound technician right there. So it's fun to always give her a hard time. That said, we all know that you want a Dunwoody sticker. Everybody's always asking us for Dunwoody stickers. So here's where you get them. Go to City Hall. You can get them at the library. You can come here to our office, or go see Billy Kramer at NFA Burger. He just got like 6 of these. He hands them out with every burger. So they're free. That's a good thing. Last is, we are going to hand these out again on the January. It's July.
You're going back in time.
Yeah, I'm totally messed up. The July 4th parade. We'll be there handing these out. So look for us so you can put those on your car or anywhere, right? Kids, you can put them on your parents' furniture. It's all fine. They come off. I'm kidding, by the way. The little voice in my ear said, don't say that. So on behalf of the entire Discover Dunwoody team, thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media sites. You can use the handle Discover Dunwoody and find us everywhere, or go to our website, discoverdunwoody.com. Shelby, thanks for being here.
Thanks
it was
again.
great to chat with you. Thanks for being
Likewise.
here. And to all of you, thanks for watching. Now, go out, enjoy the day, and discover Dunwoody.